Hello, it's Ladonia here from Keep It Crafty with Ladonia, and I thought I would come on today and show you how I made this. I made this yesterday. I've never made one before, but I made this for somebody who wants to give their grandson a card. I went on YouTube and I just typed in shirt card. So I got this DSP, which I think is great for shirts. I've wanted to make one before, so I thought I'd give it a go. So yeah, I went onto YouTube and just typed in shirt card, and this is the video that jumped out at me. It's from Rajni's Craftivity, and she's titled hers "How to Make a Shirt Card Father's Day Card." So if you wanted to watch the video that I watched, that is the one. And it was fairly straightforward. It's mainly paper folding with a little bit of cutting, but it unhooks from the collar. And then it opens up where you can write your greeting inside, which I thought was really cool. Now that was the tutorial that I watched. I then added on this onto the back because I wanted to be able to stand up on its own. So I've just added on a little card base with a little holder there, a little bracket, so as then it will stand up and sit on the mantelpiece, for example. So yes, I'm going to show you how to make it. It's, like I say, it's quite straightforward, but there is quite a bit of folding involved. So I'll put that to one side, and I've chosen this paper here. It is from the Well Suited DSP pack, which I think is great. There's several in there that I think are perfect for cards. This pinstripe one is this one back here. And yeah, so, and I didn't have enough of that one or that one. I think these three are the best for the shirts. So I've chosen the pinstripe one, and you need to cut it to the same size as a standard size of cardstock. So here in the UK, that is A4 cardstock card size. So I've cut that down to 21 centimetres by 29.7 centimetres. And that has given me a nice big chunk to put back in my packet, and then a strip that we will use. We'll use just a little bit of that to add on a bit of detail to the pocket when we get to that. So firstly, what we want to do, we want to turn it over, and we want to fold in half along the long side. And of course this will be top to bottom of the shirt. So the pinstripe I wanted vertical, so I made sure that I was careful which direction I cut my card in. So we're just going to fold and burnish that. And then we're going to open it up, and we're going to do the same into the middle. So just go up to that first crease that you've already made, and then burnish again, and do that on both sides up to that middle crease line. You can use your scoreboard, but not everybody has a scoreboard, so I thought I would do it without. I did use a scoreboard yesterday for the one I already made, so we'll see how this goes. I probably could have gone a little bit further in. Let's see what happens. So we've done that. Now I am going to get my ruler out, and I'm going to mark 2 inches down from the top. Just draw a line across there. Right, so then all we're going to do is fold this top down to meet that line there, and this will start to form our collar. Am I turning this? I think, no, yes, we need to do it this way. So if we, no, I'm folded this the wrong way. We need to turn it this way. So we need our mark on this side of the card. So let's just draw that line again. I'm going to rub that one out in case it's visible later on. So with the opening sides underneath, we're going to fold this down here just to meet that line just there. And then burnish it again. I think the burnishing is the key part to this project. So now that we've done that, we are going to cut along this line about 3/4 of an inch in. So I'm going to mark that so as I know that I'm accurate on either side. And if it matches up either side, hopefully it should look very nice at the end. So then we just cut up to that mark along that line we've already drawn, and then we just cut up to that mark that we just made at the 3/4 of an inch, like that. So now we've done that, we need to make our collar. Yes, now this is where I've made this error of not meeting up. It's going to affect that, because that is going to be where the collar is, because we need to turn this corner into the center point. And then fold, and the same with this side. So you do need to try and get this lined up as close as possible. Obviously I'm now going to have a gap in mine, but it's okay, it's not the end of the world. And then meet those 2 points up just there as best you can, and give it another burnish. So now we've done that, we can fold this up, tuck it under there to make it nice and flat. And we want to meet up these corners here. There'll be a bit of resistance against the collar, but just take your time, meet them up, and then score again. There we go. So that, in effect, is the main part done. Such a shame I've got that stripe down there, but I'll see if I can cover that at the end. So now we want to make the sleeve parts. And again, it's just folding. There's no cutting involved just here. So if we open up and we grab our ruler again and our pencil, we're going to want to measure up 3/4 of an inch from this fold line here. I'm going to put a mark on both sides, like that. So, and then we're going to fold out. We're going to fold this corner, it needs to come out. So the fold line wants to go from this mark up to this corner just here. I'm just going to use my finger now to get that started. And then just take that up to the corner, give it a press down. So this is a good project because you don't need any fancy equipment. Just a pair of scissors, a bone folder, a ruler and a pencil. And there we go. That's that one done as well. So now when we fold that up, we've got sleeves. There we go. Which I think is quite cool. So if we stick the bottom part of the collar down, because we've got an opening there, so if we stick this part down, and then this will fold over and tuck into that one there. So it'll just help keep the collar flat. So I'm going to use some wet glue. And just stick that down, just hold it for a moment. It's having to hold closed a fold, so we want to make sure it's got a good adhesion before we let go. I'll just add a little dribblage there. There we go. And then when we tuck this up, it tucks inside like that, and it's quite good, I think. Just a shame that, like I say, I've missed that bit off there. I should have folded it closer at the start. So please be aware of that when you do yours. If you do yours, I hope you do. I hope this inspires you a little bit. The easiest way I found to do the buttons was I grabbed some sequins. I'll just use some sequins from the Woven Threads assortment, and chose these. I thought these would go best with the grey. So I'm just going to use some glue dots and pop them on. So that's probably a bit big. Let's fold it up a bit. So we have one at the top. In fact, if we line them up, and then we'll stick that one on, and then we know that we're sticking them in the right place. Right, so that's the first one. So let's get them lined up, and then we know that they're evenly spaced. I've chosen 5. I think 5 is a good number for this. Oh. I think that's about right. So again, I'm just going to fold that up a little bit. Stick that down. So you can go in with your pokey tool as well and just tuck any edges in. And one more, and then we'll move on to the pocket. Actually, what we'll do first, we'll do the back first, because then that'll give me a bit of leftover card. Oh, let me see if I can spin that around. There we go. So that's the buttons on. A little bit of tucking in there to do. I can finish the tucking in later. That'll only take a minute or two. So let's get rid of those. So now if we want to do the back, we just measure. We've got 4 1/8. So I'm going to take a quarter off. So I'm going to go 3 7/8. And that is 4 7/8. So take a quarter, so I want 3 7/8 by 4 5/8. So 3 7/8 wide. No, I'm not taking a quarter off at all. That's for the inside. So we want to be 4 1/8 wide. So let's do it one at a time. 4 1/8. That's a quarter, that's 1/8. And then we want to be 4 and I'm going to go 4 3/4, just a smidge over 4 3/4. It doesn't matter if it isn't quite the full height. So if we go 4 3/4, just over, and then score it and fold it, and then come back in, line up your cut edge with the gully on your trimmer, and then cut that piece off, and then we'll use a little scrap of that for the pocket. So hopefully this should nicely fit now. So that'll sit just there. Perfect. So let's glue that on. And of course you could put your greeting, your sentiment on the back. I chose to put it inside, but you could put it onto the back. I'm going to line it up with the bottom. There we go. Make sure it's all nicely stuck down. And then it will stand up. But obviously there's quite a lot of weight on the front there, so I'm going to put that little bracket in. So I'm just going to grab my trimmer. I'm going to cut this 1/2 inch wide, well, no, 3/4 of an inch wide. And then I'm going to, I'm going to score at, how long is this? Oh, it's just over 4, so I'm going to score at 1, turn it over, score at 2, turn it over again and score at 3, and then cut at 4. So we needed a piece that was 4 inches long. And while we've got the trimmer out, we'll cut this. If we cut, how wide is that? That is, I think it's probably slightly too wide. So let's cut an inch. We'll go 1 inch by 1 1/4. And that can be for the pocket. So I'll just pop that to one side for the moment. So we don't need those. So this, if we fold, do a mounting fold, a valley fold and a mounting fold, then we need the point to be upright inside the card. So we'll stick it like that. Oh, we'll stick it like that so as the middle point is facing upwards. And then it'll just help everything all stand up nicely. And then just fold that down, pop some glue on, and then close, squish it down and then close that. And then that will help it stand perfectly open. There we go. And now it stands open. There's the bracket inside and it stands upright, absolutely lovely. So let's do the pocket. Now if we bring back in this tiny little strip, we can match up the stripes with the stripes on the card. So what we'll do first, we'll just put a bit of shape on this pocket. Let's take the bottom corners off. Just snip that by eye. That's not quite right, so just take a bit more off there. Very slight bit more off there. There we go. So what I'll do is I'll stick that on. That is going to go about there. So let's run a bead of glue across the top. And then if we pattern match at the moment, there we go. I'm just going to leave a little strip across the top to give it definition. So, and then we know where to stick that in a moment. So we'll just cut these edges off. And then stick the pocket on. This is such a tiny pocket, so you really can't get much in it, but you could run a bead of glue around the edge and put a little tiny note inside. But really, I think you may want a bigger pocket for that. So now all we've got to do again now is pattern match those lines. There we go. So that is the card done. Oh, and I'm just going to stamp now a piece of card for the insert. So if we open it up, this is where we want to take the 1/4 inch off. So I want to be cutting this at 3 7/8 by 4 1/2. So I'm going to go in my scrap box and cut this out. So is that 4.5? No. So if we go 4.5 by 3 7/8, I think I said. Let's check that. Yeah. So pop that out of the way, put that back in my scrapbooks. And I've chosen Happy Birthday from the Pretty Perennials set because I love that happy. I think that's really nice. And the ink I've chosen is basic grey because it will pick up on this basic grey in here. So I've already blocked up to save a moment of time. I'm just going to line this up on my grid paper so as then hopefully I can stamp it nice and straight. There we go, that's one. And there's the birthday. I'm quite impressed with how straight they seem. So pop that away, and then all we've got to do is stick that inside here, but remember that to bring it under your collar. So just pop a bit of glue on. Go under the collar first. And then there we go. I'm just going to flip that over and give it a good squash down. And there is our card. There, and then this just slides on under there. So I hope you like it. And then there we go, it stands up. I do hope you like it. Please remember to meet that up in the middle. I didn't because I'm a Wally. And yes, I hope you like it. I hope you give it a go and enjoy what you make. So thank you for watching. Bye bye for now.